Hello everyone and welcome back to STW Sports, and today I'm going to be reviewing the EFL weekend from January the 16th. So only really the EFL day because all the games in Championship League 1 and 2 were played on Saturday the 16th of January. Right, let's get straight on with it. Starting with the Championship, the early kick-off, Middlesbrough 0, Birmingham City 1. Very disappointing result this for Middlesbrough, considering their playoff push right now. This is a big blow, but a very good result for Birmingham City as Aitor Karanka returns to the Riverside to haunt his old club. I mean, Middlesbrough beat Birmingham 4-1 at the Riverside just under a month ago, and many people come into this game expecting a comfortable Middlesbrough win, especially with Birmingham's recent form and the fact they've been dragged into the relegation battle. That didn't happen though. Birmingham City won the game 1-0, Scott Hogan's 26th minute tap in. Fair play to Birmingham, good result. I mean, they're much better on the road than they are at St Andrews, that's for sure. But yeah, this is a brilliant result for them though. And Middlesbrough, it's a big blow for their playoff push. And Neil Warnock's men need to pick themselves up from here. Moving to 3 o'clock kickoffs now. Watford 2, Huddersfield Town 0. Good result this for Watford in the end. I mean, obviously the reverse fixture spelled the end of the reign of Vladimir Ivic when Huddersfield won 2-0 at the John Smith Stadium last month. But still, as for Watford, a good result this one. Pretty dull first half of football, nothing really happened of note. Second half though, Tom Cleverley opened the scoring with a bizarre goal when he literally slid tackled the ball into the net. And then João Pedro added a second. Yeah, good result this for Watford, 2-0 win, and it was a pretty comfortable display really. I mean, Huddersfield mid-table, Watford still very much pushing for promotion, right now in the playoffs. Nottingham Forest 3, Millwall 1. I mean, now Nottingham Forest have got going under Chris Hughton. I'm fully expecting them to climb the table. It took a while, really. Hughton didn't have the instant manager bounce, to be fair. You know, they've really struggled since he took over. They've remained in the relegation battle, albeit they've been above it most of the time. And they are now. They're comfortably pulling away now. This was a comfortable 3-1 win against a very disappointing Millwall side. Millwall, for me, have got to be the most disappointing team in the Championship this season. They just haven't got going. I don't know what's really happened. They just haven't clicked, I guess, like under Gary Rowett. I mean, they are missing the fans, don't get me wrong, in home and away games, but it just hasn't worked out for them, and they currently sit in 16th place, which is very underwhelming considering I had them to get the playoffs at the start of the season. But yeah, I mean, as for Forest, good result for them, and things are really looking up now under Chris Hughton, who I'm sure will get them mid-table, I reckon, by the end of the season. Derby County 0, Rotherham 1. And Wayne Rooney's first game as permanent manager ends in a defeat, and a very crushing defeat to relegation rivals Rotherham. Of course, these two teams did not play earlier on in the season because Rotherham had that coronavirus outbreak just as Derby had arrived at the stadium, so the game was called off there. So this is the first meeting of the season, and it's a huge win for Rotherham. Yeah, big result. Nightmare start for Wayne Rooney as manager. But as for Rotherham, their away form is usually terrible in the Championship, so to get a win is absolutely vital for them. So yeah, fair play to them. Big defeat for Derby though, but yeah, big win for Rotherham. So yeah, full credit to them in a big game as well. Blackburn Rovers 1, Stoke City 1. Stoke City won 1-0 at the Bet365 Stadium a few weeks ago, but on this occasion the shares were spoiled. Yeah, I mean it was okay. I mean it was a fair enough game. Stoke had 10 men for just under 10 minutes, over 10 minutes remaining. The game as a whole was a quite a good contest really. I think that both teams will be happy-ish with a draw. It's not a defeat, and obviously both teams have been on the outskirts of the playoffs. Of the playoff race anyway, they'd probably have taken a 1-1 draw in this game. But Blackburn might disappoint, they didn't go on and find a winner after Stoke were reduced to 10 men. But yeah, 1-1 draw, it's a fair result. Bristol City 2, Preston North End 0. Yeah, Bristol City again, another team in play just on the outskirts of the playoff hunt, and they're doing well at the moment. Again, they're starting to pick up a little bit of form. As for Preston, I mean, they're just a mid-table Championship club, aren't they, at the moment? I mean, to be fair to Alex Neil, they never do any transfer business, it feels like, Preston. So to be in the position they're in isn't actually that bad. But yeah, they've had some good results this season, but they've also had some pretty bad ones. And on this occasion, Bristol City, it was a comfortable 2-0 win. A good result for them as they continue to push for the playoffs. Moving on now to the league leaders, Norwich City, and their 2-1 win away at Cardiff City. I mean, this is disappointing. Cardiff City have had a very disappointing season as well. Like Millwall, they've got to be up there for the most disappointing team this season. Considering they got the playoff semi-finals last year and came close to getting to the final, I think they'll be bitterly disappointed with the way things have really gone so far. 15th in the table at the halfway point of the season it's certainly not great. But as for Norwich, though, they're doing brilliant, aren't they? They've kept their players over the summer. The likes of Pukki, Buendia, Cantwell, those important forward players who did so well for them last time they were in the Championship 2 years ago. And yeah, right now they're on the same amount of points now they were this point when they last got promoted. They're doing very well. I mean, 50 points from 24 games. I can't see them not coming up right now. Another good win here, and without Teemu Pukki as well. AFC Bournemouth 0, Luton Town 1. Probably one of the best results in Luton Town's Championship return since they came up last season. Big result, this one. I mean, to be fair to Luton, Nathan Jones, he's done superb this season. I mean, it just kept them up last season. It was a lucky escape. They probably deserved to stay up, but it was a close one for them. I mean, they were in the relegation battle pretty much throughout the season, pulled it together at the end, and Nathan Jones might have turned a little bit of a tail tuck between his legs, but he's done brilliantly. And this win here, I mean, yes, Jesse Lerma did get a red card for Bournemouth in the first half, completely changed the game, but it's a big win for them, and yeah, massive result for Luton, and a big blow for Bournemouth in the automatic promotion push. Barnsley 0, Swansea City 2. Good result for Swansea, 2-0 win. Yeah, they very professional display. I mean, the game wasn't great, but I mean, Swansea, this season, they've done that. They've grinded out results, and they've been doing it the whole season. Fair play to them. Another great result here against a good Barnsley team who've been probably the surprise package of this season, sitting in the top half of the table. So, yeah, credit Swansea, though. They're looking very good. Another team like Norwich right now, I can certainly see them getting promoted after 3 seasons out of the Premier League. Game of the day, there wasn't many good ones in the Championship, to be honest. I've gone for Cardiff City 2, Norwich City 1, and that was far from a classic. Result of the day, I've gone AFC Bournemouth 0, Luton Town 1. I could have gone for Rotherham's win against Derby, but I feel like Luton Town, to go to Bournemouth and win is a big result for them. Not disrespecting Luton there, but, Bournemouth have been a Premier League team for many years recently, and Luton, of course, have had to work their way up, and it's a great win for them. And the top scorers, Adam Armstrong and Ivan Toney, both on 16 goals. They both feel like they've been on 16 goals now for a very, very long time. Moving on now to League One, and we started with the early kickoff on Saturday. AFC Wimbledon 0, Sunderland 3. Good result for Sunderland, one that's very much needed with their recent poor form. Yeah, I mean, Charlie White scored a hat-trick as well, good hat-trick, and AFC Wimbledon are well and truly in a relegation battle, while Sunderland are continuing to push for the playoffs, albeit a little bit on the outskirts of it right now. Rochdale 3, Wigan Athletic 3. I mean, if you want to watch entertaining football right now, watch Rochdale games. They are so good at the moment, they're producing goals left, right and centre. There's just never a dull moment watching Rochdale at the moment. It's amazing, really, but they are in a relegation battle as well, though, so they do concede too many, but they also score a lot as well. On this occasion, they were reduced to 10 men, and to be fair to them, scored a last-minute equaliser against relegation rivals Wigan Athletic. Massive game between two teams who are based near each other, and yeah, it certainly lived up to the, I guess, billing in a way. In fact, it was a relegation battle, and both teams just went for it, and fair play to them, really. It was a really good game of football, and as for Rochdale, it might feel like a win for them, a point with 10 men, but ultimately it's a draw, and it doesn't really do a lot for both teams, but it's not a defeat at the end of the day, and if anyone won this game, it would have been massive. Hull City 1, Blackpool 1. Yeah, Hull City's form's kind of dwindling at the moment. Of course, they've had so many games called off due to COVID, like many League One teams, though, that it kind of has broke up their momentum. 1-1 draw, and it was a fair result. Blackpool did well to get a point out of this one, really. They'll certainly take a point from the KCOM Stadium. Yeah, fair draw here as Hull's promotion push. Takes a little bit of a stutter, but they're still well up there. Swindon Town 1, Doncaster Rovers 2. Yep, Doncaster Rovers doing very well right now. Darren Moore has been linked away at the moment, actually, with the job at somewhere else, but I mean, they're currently losing him right now. This is a big win for them. Away at a Swindon team who admittedly are certainly struggling down there in the relegation zone. Good win, though, for Doncaster. Away from home, 2-0 up at half-time. Swindon pulled a goal back, but Doncaster held on. Plymouth Argyle 1, Crewe Alexandra 1. A fair enough draw here. Two mid-table teams, really, and it was a pretty basic 1-1 draw. Peterborough 3, MK Dons 0. Good result for Peterborough, of course, both teams opposite ends of the table, and it really showed on this occasion. Peterborough, far too much for MK Dons, a very good result. Peterborough did have a bit of a stutter, really, before Christmas, but they're starting to pick up form a little bit again. Their home form's been brilliant this season. Accrington Stanley 0, Gillingham 1. I mean, Accrington Stanley, they're one of them teams. They're having a very good season. They'd win all their games in hand, they'll be top of the table. That's how good a season they're really having, because they've got about 3 or 4 games in hand because so many were called off. As for Gillingham, though, yeah, they're having a mixed season, of course, as I always mention on this channel. A 1-0 win here. It was a fair win away from home at Accrington. It's a very good result for them, but they remain in mid-table. But yeah, it's a big win, a big blow though for Accrington. Bristol Rovers 0, Charlton Athletic 1. Yep, grinded out a result here, Charlton. Fair play to them. They've got to start doing this a bit more. A lot of games this season, Charlton have been, they've considered an equaliser very late in the game, really let them down. On this occasion, though, it's a big win, a good win for them. 1-0 win, keeps their playoff hopes alive, so yeah, a good win. Burton Albion 0, Ipswich Town 1. Another team who kept their playoff promotion hopes going was Ipswich Town. 1-0 win, and yeah, bottom side of Burton Albion got their first win last week, of course, but on this occasion that wasn't the case, and they fell to a disappointing 1-0 loss against Ipswich Town, who are, of course, fighting for the playoffs right now. And Fleetwood Town 0, Portsmouth 1. Yet managerless Fleetwood Town after Jerry Barton's departure. As for Portsmouth, doing very well. Of course, they've not played for a while due to COVID as well. Good win for them on their return, though. Away, obviously, Joe Barton was still in charge. It might have been a bit more difficult, but managerless Fleetwood. Still, though, a good result for Portsmouth. So, yeah, fair play to them. A nice 1-0 win away from home. Keeps their promotion push well and truly on. Right then, game of the day, I've gone, of course, for Rochdale 3, Wigan Athletic 3. An easy choice for game of the day. A very entertaining one. Result of the day, I've gone for Accrington Stanley 0, Gillingham 1, because there wasn't really many upsets in League One this week. I think this one probably was the main one, if it's even mainly an upset, to be honest. Top scorers are Johnson Clark-Harris and Luke Jeffcott, both on 13 goals. And now we move on to League 2, and we have Forest Green 1, Port Vale 1. Yeah, Port Vale go joint top of this draw. 3 teams right now are joint top, though, and they were disappointed they didn't win the game, Forest Green. I think they'd have looked at this game against Port Vale at home and targeted the win, but it was a fair draw. I had Forest Green to go up at the start of the season, as I always seem to mention, and right now they're doing quite well, to be fair to them. Cambridge United 1, Colchester United 1, Cambridge United 1, sorry, wrong way round. Yeah, a draw, not really a lot to say, really. Again, Cambridge, this would have been great if they won this, because they also would have gone top, but no, they drew the game in the end. As for Colchester, tough place to go, so a 1-1 draw is not the end of the world. Newport County 0, Salford City 0. Again, Newport County have also missed the opportunity to go top of the table. They drew 0-0 with Salford, so it was a fair 0-0 draw, really. It wasn't really a great game of football, so yeah, I think it'll be taken. Grimsby Town 0, Southend United 0. Another 0-0. So yeah, a lot of draws and 0-0s going on right now. Of course, a massive game in the relegation battle this, and it was a pretty uneventful game, really. A goalless draw, nothing really more to say. It was pretty much a dull fest. Walsall 1, Oldham Athletic 1. Another draw. So many going on right now. Yeah, obviously both teams are kind of mid-table-ish to, maybe going a little bit towards relegation, or Walsall to the playoffs, maybe. Yeah, it wasn't really a lot to say here. 1-1 draw. Oldham's away record isn't that bad, so I think it's another point on the road, I guess, for them. Barrow 1, Scunthorpe United 0. Huge win for Barrow. Of course, relegation battle really going on. Scunthorpe maybe pulled away from it right now. Barrow, though, brilliant win. Home game, they need to make the most of it, and they did. A big 1-0 win for them. Leyton Orient 2, Morecambe 0. Morecambe have actually done very well this season, to be fair to them. Much better than anyone expected. But Leyton Orient, though, it's a tough place to go. They're a very good team on their day. A 2-0 win. It's a decent result for them. Bolton Wanderers 1, Cheltenham Town 1. Again, Cheltenham, another team who are doing well this season, but Bolton, they're proving a tough team to beat right now, but they're kind of just on the outskirts of the relegation battle. Bolton, I don't think they'll go down. I think they'll have enough, but it really has been the transition season that I predicted for them. A 1-1 draw, it's not too bad considering how high Cheltenham are in the table, but it is a home draw again. Stevenage 0, Tranmere Rovers 0. Another 0-0 draw. There seems to be a few of them this week. Yeah, this was pretty much a bit of a boring one, really. There's not really anything to say about it. Uneventful, goalless draw. And moving on to game of the day. Wasn't really anything. I've said Bolton Wanderers 1, Cheltenham Town 1, just because there was a late equaliser from Bolton. I consider that great, but the goals were few and far between. There wasn't even more than 2 goals in any game in League 2 at the weekend. That's how dull it was. Yeah, result of the day, easy choice. Barrow 1, Scunthorpe United 0. Massive result for Barrow. One that could do them wonders at the end of the season. And the top scorer is still Paul Mullin with 18 goals. Another player who feels like he's been on 18 goals for a very long time now. But yeah, that is a wrap on my EFL reviews from January the 16th. I'll be back next week with more EFL reviews and also beginning my new Championship podcast from Big Heads Media. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a great day and please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.